You think you know your mind? You don't know your mind. We think, oh, I got this. Oh, I know how my mind works because it is my mind. My way of thinking. I know me. Yeah, I know me. You cannot know me. That's what every single one of us says. So long as the mind is not awakened, most of us will function like that. So keeping watch over your mind is a full-time job. That's why the Buddha stressed again and again and again the importance of having sati, full mindfulness, that sense of constantly observing, witnessing what is the mind doing. Especially these little quirks we have. When we silence the input that we get from the world around us, it could be a book, a section of a book that you're reading, or a lecture, or a Dhamma talk, or someone speaking to you, giving you specific instructions, or you promising something, or addressing an issue that someone brings up to your attention. And instead of saying, I'm sorry, you say, yeah, but, yes, I know, but, we avoid saying, I'm sorry. You promise you're going to be somewhere and you're late, and you forget, you neglect. Okay. Or you promise to, or you say to yourself, I'm going to do this tomorrow or the next week or this, or I'm going to, and the time comes and you realize you haven't done it. For various reasons, many of them possibly valid reasons. But part of the brain says, well, my intentions are good and it happens and let's move on. Let's put this thing behind us and move on. What is happening there? I always look for those moments. Because the mind is the most cunning of all. That's why we're stuck. That's why you will not know your mind so long as you're continuing to do this. When you say to yourself, I got this, I know my mind, I know it. Relax, leave me alone. I know my mind. I don't need you to tell me. And I don't need to change that much. That's the problem. Because we think we are fixable. You're not fixable. Okay? You're not fixable so long as you're unwilling to see through these deceptive tactics of the mind, which we call in Buddhism perceptions. Your perceptions are always going to be in the way. They're shrouding you from reality. They're veiling you. You're trapped. Not somebody else comes over and traps you inside of a home. No, that's easy to get out of. Your own mind. And how much you are willing to accept. That's why nobody actually gains any wisdom, any knowledge, any awakening takes place in any of these retreats, or you go in some mountain hut, or stay with even an arahant, an awakened bhikkhu. But you'll be like that spoon that Lord Buddha talks about. Spoon that's been placed inside this delicious soup, and never will you be able to taste the soup. Why? Because you're unwilling to see it, to see things for what they are, how they are. Why? Because of your adherence, your worshipfulness of this thing called sanya, this perception that you have. This is me, this is how I think, I got this. I know my mind, okay? You don't know your mind. So long as you're unwilling to open up a new page and say, you know what? Why am I in sorrow? Why am I in pain? Why am I experiencing anguish and misery? How long am I going to continue fooling myself? You know when the jig is up, as they say, when the joke is on you, that realization, when that happens, it happens when you are at your last breath. And you cannot escape. And you know one thing's for sure, the body's dying. And that's it. So now the joke is on you, the person. So instead of having this incredible faith, blind faith in your mind, in your perception of the world, start opening a window of possibilities for you to not be so rigid and be okay with saying, you know what, I'm sorry. You know what, I think I'm wrong in this perception. I think, and because many of us think that the way to awakening is actually through gathering more data, more information, doing this, doing that. Well, wait a minute, before I do something, I need to undo something else. If you have a pot of plants, basically, and it's full of weeds and other things, gunk, maybe rocks, and you want to plant this beautiful thing, gardenia or this carnation or this tree, what do? You need to empty the pot of whatever it is containing. And then you fill it up with good soil. And then you put the seeds or the saplings in there, and then you water it, you cater it, you take care of it. But many of us are not doing that. We're just stuck in our own ways, and we're trying to embellish them and expecting there to be something. No, a monkey's not going to turn into a human being, okay? Lord Buddha says, you're going to be, it's like somebody who's trying to squeeze grains of sand together, expecting there to be sesame oil coming out. It doesn't work like that. These are not olives, okay? When you squeeze olives together, you will get olive oil. But you need to look at the ingredients that you're trying to squeeze or trying to put together and hoping something to come out. What you put in has everything to do with what comes out. So, you don't know your mind. So long as you're a captive, you're a slave to your perceptions. Can you relinquish them? Of course, but it depends on you, of course. Can a person become awakened? Yes. That's why Lord Buddha taught. That's why the Dhamma still exists, because people are coming out of those shrouded, nasty, stagnant worlds that they have been slaves in. So it's up to you if you want to do it yourself, also or not. So,